Let there be light, and there was light. Words of the said God, Mother Eve. So I thought I would address the 14 gods again. Well, it's all about us and the 14 gods, seeing how we fit in or how we can be expressions of the gods. Okay, today I had this wonderful meditation and really trying to work out whether the gods are working in unison, or whether they have, frictions or fights. It may sound a little bit silly, but coming from the frame of mind that we have been conditioned, yes, we can think of those things. And well, that meditation, of course, for my assurance is that the gods are willing to work in unison and unity on our behalf. And especially now we are in this phase of the 5th and 8th dimension. So basically we are in creating man in our image and likeness, as Mother Eve said in her final lettings, which was on the 8th letting. Before I continue, I also got onto watching a video which I found was very interesting, and it was termed, I would have loved to make the reference of the person, but I didn't make note of that. But it's really looking at the errors of creation, or the new people. And I'm not sure that the person or the speaker was really looking at it in the way I did, but that's what happens. It's how you understand something. So there is the Adamic stage, and there was Noah, and there was David, there was Noah, there was Moses, there was Abraham, and of course Jesus the Messiah. And 6 of these main eras or change or creation, I see it as a renewal of all of those stages of who we are. I think the word new renewal, in fact, was mentioned from the presentation that I watched. And so the individual was really asking about, well, saying, there's a 7th one to come when the Messiah comes. And I found it very interesting because, of course, I've been looking at the numbers, and we see 6 as the number of man, and there was 6 being called, and also 6 being with the said God, Mother Eve. So all these were synchronizing really well. And of course the 7th, which is again what we have been called, in my view, we are that 7th, and we need to go through the in fact this is the 7th being presented here, and this is on the called God. Now we can see, as I say, the start of these, like in the scriptures, for instance, we had all the gods in order, and to the 9th god of the 1st chapter. So we have God. In case you are new to this, I should really say I'm talking about 14 gods of Genesis, and of course seeing how they reflect over the different eras or recorded eras that we have, as in Adam, Moses. I may not do this in order. Adam, Abraham, Moses, Noah, and Christ. Christ, of course, is the one. There's another one. So it's Adam, Abraham, Noah, Moses, David, and Christ. So it's 6 eras here. And this is like, it's no wonder people are saying, yes, we are in the last days. And people are waiting for the Messiah to come. they are waiting for Christ, Jesus Christ, to come. And here I'm quoting, well, Jesus Christ said, I go to prepare a place for you, and that where I am, the I am, there you may be also. Where I am. So I am is really beginning and end. But we had not understood this. This is what is important for us to understand. So Christ said, I go to prepare a place for you. For you. I like that as well, for you. Meaning your north, south, east, and west. That's what Christ was about. I go to prepare this for you. I'm preparing in the sense of, like, we have the word compare, we have the word prepare, and it's like, it's really like prepare your mind, prepare your spirit, prepare. This is why then he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, which is what I really want to talk about. So, but let's just do this here, because we are talking about the six errors of Adam. So we had Adam, A-D-A-M. We had Moses. Well, let's do this in order. I think it was Adam, well, Noah, Moses. Okay, I may not have them quite in order. No, yeah, and Moses. Abraham. We had Abraham, of course. Abraham. And Christ. Before we have Christ, David, the King of David, and the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we have this here. And there is a thing about the second coming of Jesus. And it kind of, I try to think of ways I could really say this. Perhaps I should invite the gods, the 14 gods, to really help me here. To know, to really convey this in a way that is concise, succinct, comprehensive, and so on. The coming, because Christ says, the truth is within you. Truth is within. If the truth is within, then the way which he says, whatever we ask, know in your heart, it is given. It's the heart of everything. That and the life that Christ himself, as we have learned in the story, has come to die. But this dying is all about showing us the way, how, what it constitutes. It's like Mother Eve being cast to the ground. There is the word cast to the ground. And of course, when we use the word cast, it's always a word that is used like in spells or in building. I don't know if it's used widely, but you're casting, and so this is what Mother Eve was, cast to the ground. And remember, Mother Eve is playing the part. She's playing all the different roles. And so on the ground level, she teaches us how to behave on the ground, how to familiarize ourselves with sounds, with animals that we would play. We would pretend with a horse. She puts you on her back and pretend she's a horse, and she gives you a ride, and those kind of things till you grow up. There's the other thing, when you are growing up, you're always sort of measuring up against your parents. Or, am I your height yet? Am I this tall yet? Or, I'm almost taller than you. And perhaps this is what it was about the story of Lucifer. This is comparable with the story of Lucifer. Well, I'm fairer, I'm higher, I'm taller, I'm brighter, those sort of things. But it's the game. the game that is. And then, of course, the parent or mother allows the child to feel good and just immerse themselves in their seemingly accomplishments. So this is something we are talking and looking at here. And so those stages here where we have this 6, which is representing the all Genesis in that sense, because the word Genesis is 33 in numerical value. And so perhaps I would just do this here. Genesis. And so this is 7555191. So this is 10, 20, 21, 28, 33. So 3 plus 3 is 6. And 6 is the number of man. So basically we can see there is synchronicity, or not just synchronicity, there is a strong correlation with the 6 era here, the 6 that Genesis we are. So the story of the children of Israel was, we could say that there was a Genesis happening, an Exodus, a Genesis, however we want to put it. It was a beginning of another era. So we are now still in a Genesis that consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. And this is all Genesis. Then we are in the 7th, which is where, of course, Christ, or the Creator, rested on the 7th day. This is where we are also told that we have completed a 7,000-year cycle. It would be interesting to do this in numerology and see what vibration, numerical vibration, that really presents. But now we are in a 7-year cycle. Let's be occupied with that. The word 7 equals 20. And 20 is, when we do the numerical value for 20, let's do this here. TWENTY. When we do the numerical value for 20, which is 5552, adding these together, this is 15, 17, 19, this would be 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now that's so crucial for us to get around our minds and our way of thinking and doing. The 7, of course, why I say 7, again, the word 7, which has Mother Eve in the middle, which is why God saw Eve in everything. She was the mother of all living. There is this which exists before any event takes place. So this 7 is a demarcation of a new era. This is the new era of Eve we are doing. So we can see how the story of Adam and Eve also evolved in that sense of Eve having been the cause of the fall of man, because this is a new era. There is a yeast in the dough that is being risen again. This is like we have the fall here. We have with King David, or we had with Abraham moving to another land. We had Noah with the flood. We had Moses on Mount Sinai. We have Jesus. So we have those demarcation of new eras in each of these here. So we have been on a journey. We have been on this journey. Now this journey, of course, when we say we have, and I also believe that this goes in the cycle of all lives as being reincarnated. We go and we do these cycles to reflect number 8, which is infinity. We are infinite beings right here. But of course, in the cycles of our existence, it is important that we realize, of course, that we see from the sacrifice template, it is also being reflective. There's the 8 that I'm talking about. There's the 6, the number of man, the cycles that we have been going through. It is right here. It is in the same column. So there we are being seen as getting into this new headquarters zone. As I draw on the scenario of you move into a new country, there you would need to register your details in the different headquarters of whatever, whether it was the town hall, whether it was the birth place of marriage, whatever it is that you will endeavoring to accomplish, and that would be necessary, or whatever that would be imposed on you that you had to have as a but you'd have to have this done before you could really move on. So of course sometimes the words don't really come out the way intended to, but I am hoping you get what I mean. This is where we go to headquarters zone. This is where you have to present your ID or your passport, or it could have been in entering this new place. But you'd have to be seen as this number 6, the man, the number of man. You'd have to accomplish this error right here. So I'll get my feather out, which is more appropriate here. So basically, this is the where you would need to be. And number 20, as I say, the 7th is the day of rest, which encapsulates Mother Eve, of course, because Eve denotes that journey that we are on as well. But the journey was in a playful state, we could say. This is the playful state that you do not realize what is happening at that time, like the serpent was in the garden with Eve. So we're talking about Eve. As I say, there are 2 ways of looking at the story of Eve. Eve, there were different Eves. She could have been the mother who is really nurturing her daughter and saying to the daughter, have God said that you shall not eat of the fruit? Because of course we do that. Your daughter is married or has a husband, and you want to know how things are going. This is the seed of the things that we are still exhibiting in our day-to-day living, and everything has a seed that breeds after its kind. So we see 7. Doing the numerical value for 7 equals 20. 20, when we do the numerical value for the word 20, it's 26, which is the number of God as well in Judaism. And of course, it equals 8. It equals 8. That 8 coincides with Mother Eve, who ate of the fruit, because the word ate or ate, meaning to eat or ate, the past tense of eat, equals 8. Or maybe she just had a cup of tea, because it's the same word, T-E-A, right here. Or could have just been to say, well, I was going to say just T as the letter T, which equals 2, has the numerical value of 2. So 2 now as well is indicative of 20. So it's the same thing right here. And 20, as we have just worked out, is 8. Now we have the mouth here, which is the whole, which is Mother Eve. This is in direct correlation with the word Mother Eve, which is that which exists before any event takes place. This is like the meaning of Eve in the dictionary. So the mouth, of course, we see that the mouth is representing the word, like John writes in the New Testament. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God, and so on. So meaning the word, the mouth, the water, the waters that were spoken of in Genesis of chapter 1 and verse 2 is still here, because words and water, they both are of current and they both flow. And so this is what the mouth is about here again. And we could see with the symbol of infinity, there is a flow right there. But this, we could say, is really representing another era, because 5 plus 8 equals 13, and we see 13 is that which equals He, the Creator. Like when we do the word He, He, and He created man, and He created he, him, and so on. All those words were in the Bible, whether it was from the word she or the word her. Anyway, He was there. He was Creator. Okay, so now I have covered how the masculine and feminine aspect comes into the He and the God of creation, and I have done presentations on that, and to see how I may have had it whether God was masculine or male or female, but that would be covered in those presentations. Now, what I really want to cover here now to really emphasize is that we have done this stage. We are all this stage. We encompass this stage. Oh, we are Adam, we are Noah, we are Moses, we are Abraham, we are of David, and we are of Jesus. However, we want to see all of this, which with the figure 8, I am aware that Moses equals 8, Abraham equals 8, and we have seen how Adam also equals 8 as 10. I have done this on a presentation, but I know that the part of the mouth we have been talking about, which is the tongue that really flows the current of words, and that which we eat with, it equals 10. So there's a correlation here as saying 10 is balance and it is whole, just as 8 is as well, because 8 is really like a rubber band that is just folded, but it's a whole. Okay, where we could say 10 is actually male and female, opposites, negative and positive, that forms a whole as well. Noah is actually 4, I think, if I remember well, but I have done a presentation showing Noah as the Noah, the person who knows. Okay, and that I felt was very interesting. So Noah is actually, this is 9, 15, 20. So Noah is actually 20. Again, we see that is already explained as in the word 20, meaning Noah is not just 20, he is also 8. This is the wonderful knowledge, because when the scriptures keep telling us to seek knowledge, seek wisdom, and above all, seek understanding, now we understand that there is a width aspect to the scriptures. We tend to address the scriptures as, you know, it's very serious. It is serious in the most serious way that we could think of, forgetting that there is an aspect of our being that is God, that is humorous, and the scriptures also reflect this humor very well. And basically, that's what the serpent does. That's what Mother Eve does. Mother Eve is really like having a laugh, because she's of words, and the words, they curtail in all different forms and dimensions. So that's what has happened here. So we know Abraham It's also 26, directly 26, I believe, but I know it's also 8. David is 4, and so we'll just do David here, for instance, which is, let's do it this way, however it's easier. This is 10, this is 18, 19, 22. So David is 22. So we could say this is 20 here, which is 26 and 8, and 2 is also 4. It's 13. In fact, 2 is 13, so that would be 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. Now, if we did the numerical value for 12, but taking it down, it's really 3. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Now, of course, the word 3 actually, when we do the numerical value, equals 11. 11 would be 1 plus 1, which takes us back to 20. 11 adding 1 plus 1 is 2. Of course, would have the same numerical value as when I say 2, it would be as 2 here, meaning it would have that whole, the 13 vibration on this column. This is where Christ had his union with his disciples at the Last Supper, 13 at the Last Supper. This is meant to be B, but I have really broken it down to see when the agreement is formed and they become equal. The word equal actually equals 20, or it has a 2 value. So they become equal and they form a bond. And it's no wonder Christ said that these were his family, because they had bonded, and that would not have been the first time of the Last Supper that they had bonded. This is the bond that was happening there, and that was to be renewed or reinforced each time that they broke bread and drank wine. That was the ritual, and that's what we continue to do today, or that's what practicing Christians still do today. Break of the bread and drink of the wine in remembrance of Christ. Right here. Now, isn't there a correlation here as well? Meaning there's the 6 vibration happening right here again. So, of course, this symbol, as I say, is 13. When we do the numerical value for the word 13, it equals 8. It equals 8. So we can see that David, in essence, or even if we did the numerical value for the word 8, it also equals 4, which coincides with David as 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. So we can see that there is a strong correlation here. Now, Jesus, of course, is the same as it would be for Noah, who is 2, because Jesus is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, it'd also be interesting to just add all these numbers together, as in the numerical values here, and see what number or what message that they convey. So we have Adam as 10, Noah as 20, Moses as 8. Okay, we could say Noah as 2, and Abraham as 8, David as 4, and Jesus as 2. So what we can see here, there are 2 2s, there are no 6s here. And of course, that's because we are the 6. That's the message that is being conveyed. We have 2, 4, 8, like we have even numbers. It'd be nice for us to see 2, 4, 6, 8, but the 6 is a miss, because we are meant to question, well, why isn't 6 there? Okay, that's what I'm believing. Okay, so let's just add this up. 8 and 8, 16, 20, 24, and 2 is 26, plus 1 is 27. Right here, 2 plus 7 is 9. So, of course, this is the message here, just as I've just related, is 9. When we do the numerical value for the word 9, is 5595. Adding this together, 15, this is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So this is the message that we are meant to see right there. If we do the numerical value for the word 6, it gives us 7. So we can see again 7 will take us back to 2 and so on. But this is really like helping us to see where we are. The question is to ask, where am I in all of this? Then when we do the math right here, we can see that we are 6. We can see the confirmation of being 6 here, but also the 7 would be that is reflected right in the 6, because that's how the serpent, Mother Eve, operates. This is 6, 9, 1. Adding this together is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. And of course, 7, we could wipe this off for now. 7 is 20. We've done this. Also, this is confirmation. Mother Eve is in the middle of everything. She's in the middle of the 6 that we are. Adding this together is giving us another 7, giving us the confirmation that she is in the middle of all that which we are, the number of man, including the day of rest. And here with the 7 is like the serpent, is representing the serpent, which was the gift in the Garden of Eden. It was a gift. The serpent is a gift. So 1, 5, 9, 7, 5, 5, 2. Adding this together, this is 17, 19, this is 20, and this would be 34. 3 plus 4 equals 7. So 7 is the serpent. That's Mother Eve right here. This is what I really want to show her. The other thing that is important from where I began with this, which I still want to cover in depth, is that the serpent, Mother Eve, is synonymous with that which Christ in his teaching says, it is in the heart that you find all manner of evil, murder, adultery, and all those things were outlined there. However, it is in the heart where the truth is. It is in the heart where all the answers that you could ever want lies. The heart contains everything. Now, the serpent is actually in all hearts. So, synonymous with H-E-A-R-T. This is the serpent in the middle. And the S, as I always say, is representing the serpent. S in the word said or serpent is really giving an image of all that the serpent contains or consists. So it's also in the heart, which is synonymous, the word heart, with earth. E-A-R-T-H. So we can see how we have been conditioned to to focus on the 9, more 9, which is to deliver, because 9 is beginning. So we are in lots of beginnings. You begin your work in the morning, you begin your walk, you begin everything in that physical realm. And the A, of course, which has a numerical value of 1, but I have broken this down. It also has because it is 1, it also has a numerical value of 7 in itself, because in the middle of the heart contains exactly what it is. Everything that you could find in the heart contains what the whole heart consists of. So with a numerical value of 1, O-N-E, if we do the numerical value for the word 1, it gives us 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So if we did the same with 9, because this is 9, we would have the value of 6 to show us, again, we are the number of man. So it's important that we familiarize ourselves or recognize, where am I in the middle of the earth, and where am I in the middle of my heart, right here. But they both are representing the wholeness in that sense, because R, of course, is 6, which is the whole, the number of man. Here we have 1, which is representing, again, number 7. But when we do the numerical value for the word 7, or the word 1 rather, 1 as it is, we see we've got 7, and 7 is also giving us 2, which is foundation, which is rock. It also is, it gives us 13, which is where we see the number of God lies here. So basically, this is representing beginning. We could also say that the A is representing beginning and end here, because if we were to work around this, I'm sure we would find, of course, like 2, like we have found with 7, it shows us that we are number 8 here, which we are infinite. So the A is that which draws our attention to the spiritual realm, and the 9 in this case is like birthing children 9 months. Just for example, 9 is here in the earth, but it's also that everything that is out, that we exhibit in the external world, can mirror in this world, in this part. Okay, so I'm going to do another presentation covering the way, the truth, and the life, because of course this is, I think it would be best to do it this way, so I can concentrate on this and perhaps not make this presentation much longer. So I thank you. I hope you have got something from this presentation. If you do, please click the like button and share, because we are now shaping and being co-creators of the new man, where Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image and likeness. And that reminds me, just to wrap up this this era, just as we have seen that after we have done Adam, Moses, and Noah, and so on, we see that we are the 7th. We are like we are in this 7th era. We are. It's like we are in an incubator right now, like I pointed out with 13, because 13 is actually an incubator. I hope I can get to cover this again. And in that incubator, of course, we are like resting in this 7th stage, because that's a cycle here. This is a wholeness. It means 1. We are 1 there. But of course, from this 1, we find ourselves now being asked by Mother Eve, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And of course, I have showed you how we move on to this 8th cycle. So we are preparing, in fact, in this 8th cycle. We are in the 5th and 8th cycle, but this is representing the 7th year. So there is an overlap, we could say, happening here in the 7th year cycle, with Uranus in the 2nd house of Taurus, again number 10, because Taurus is equals 10, and Uranus equals 20, I believe, or is it 22? Okay, but I think it's 22. So this is the house of we are doing incubation again. Okay, so I'll just leave this here, and I hope you have got some essence from this. There's lots, I have done lots on the word heart and earth, but I feel that this is really sending out a beautiful message. Of course, which adding up together is 10, and then we have this perfection, because that would be perfect. So thank you. Of course, and 10, the word 10 equals free, taking us back to this 3 that I was adding on earlier with with number 12. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this, and do like and subscribe and share. Thank you. And let there be light, and there was light.